Okay, so what I'm going to talk about today is the importance of chord tones in your playing. Looking at the triads, if you don't know what they are, let's just maybe go and have a look at what triads are first before coming back. So I'm just going to be talking about today about how to use them. Not necessarily giving you the lesson of where the triads are yet, but I will be doing something on that. Just giving the importance of chord tones today. So what are chord tones? Chord tones are the intervals which make up the chord. So in playing, a lot of the time in the jazz world, if you're talking to someone who improvises a lot, maybe in that genre, they will talk about chord tones and landing on set and intervals. In the rock pop kind of sense, and other places in music, it's not talked about enough, and I don't know why, because it's a super important subject to be able to do, which the use of chord tones in your playing really makes a big impact, and it helps you sound way better in certain areas. So I've just looped a little progression here in the key of A minor. Okay, it goes A minor, D minor, F major, G major, and then I put this E7 flat 9 chord in at the end, or an E7 you can think of it. What I do there is just, it's the tension chord of the dominant to go back to the A minor at the start. So if we're looking at this is in the key of A minor or C major. So I'm going to look at this A minor, okay, that's the 6th chord in the key. So it's a 6, 2, 4, 5, and then this would be the 5 of the 6. So I'm playing the 5, because the 5 chord in this key would normally be E minor, right? I'm turning it to a dominant chord because it gives it that tension and to go back to the 1, okay? So it's I've just turned the minor into a dominant, so it goes back to the 1. So I've looped it here. I'll play it first so you can hear. So this would be the F, G, E7 flat 9, back to the A minor, D minor, F, G, and E7 flat 9. So this is all diatonic apart from the last chord. Okay, so on each one of the chords you can play. I'm just going to be sticking to the natural minor, okay, the A aeolian. Okay, on the last chord, on that turnaround chord, there's a couple of things you can use. So over that E7 flat 9, you think of it as you could use the E altered scale, which I talked about a couple of lessons ago, the altered scale, so you might have a look back at that. So that takes you back nicely, or you could use E dominant Phrygian. You could also think of that as A harmonic minor. Okay. Okay, so that takes you back nicely. So the reason you would use A harmonic minor on that, I won't go into too much detail, but because it's normally a minor in that key, because we're putting in the major third, we need to make that note within the scale. So it's a. So I've taken the natural minor scale, moved that 7th note, okay, the 7th degree up 1. So it's not a flat 7 now, it's a natural 7. So this progression, yes, we could just whittle about in A minor and play. It'll sound fine, but we're not really going to be impacting any of the chords in the background, which is what we want to do on the chord tone. So yeah, I could go. Okay, so naturally my ear is drawn toward the chord tones, but if I don't really think, I could just literally. Okay, so that wasn't me thinking at all. I was just not thinking about a note choice. Now some guy actually he commented on my last couple of videos. He asked, do I think about every note I'm hitting? Am I conscious? Now the answer is yes and no. So yeah, if I'm playing over something like this, which is a very common kind of ballady thing, I will be thinking chord tones. I really want to be able to hit the specific chord tones. But if I'm playing runs and stuff, yeah, I kind of know where they are now because I've done a lot of fretboard visualization work. But playing stuff which is fast or anything like that in my previous videos, as you see on the fast runs, it kind of binds into muscle memory. But yes, I am thinking about the chord tones a lot of the time, because that is where in your improvisation, or just even writing, where you're going to be impacting the chords a lot more. The chords are going to stand out. So the idea is the chords in the background, you want to be able to make them stand out even more. And likewise, when the chords aren't there, when you're playing just with no chords, you can hear the sound of the chords, but in your lead playing, because you're hitting the chord tones. And I'll demonstrate this in a sec. So we can use this scale, the natural minor, but I'm going to be hitting the chord tones of each chord. So the first chord we had A minor. So what are the notes I need to hit? You need to know the structure of the chord. So in a minor chord you have a 1, the root, the flat 3, and the 5. So that's your triad, and we're just going to be looking at the triads today of each chord. D minor, okay, it's a minor chord, so we have a 1, flat 3, 5. Over the F, you have a 1, you've got a third, natural 3, and a 5. Over the G, 1, natural 3, 5. Now the E7 flat 9 chord, the last chord, okay. Yeah, it's got a flat 9, and don't be alarmed by all these strange alterations, but the dominant chord, what is it? It's a 1, 3, 5, flat 7. So we're literally looking at the triad, so we just need the first 3 notes. So it's a 1, a 3, and a 5. So it's the same as all the other major chords. So I'm just going to show you now quickly, because I won't demonstrate now where the triads are. I'm just going to show you how it works. Okay, we will be doing a lesson of how to find the triads, but I'm just going to be showing you quickly now around this area of the fretboard, which we're going to use between the 5th and the 8th fret, the triads which you need for each chord. So for A minor, I need my root, my flat 3, my 5, and I stole that again, my root, flat 3, 5, my root, my flat 3, and I could go up to here for the 5, but we're sticking to here, so that's all we need. For the D minor, so we're going to go right from the low E to the high E. So here's your D, I'm going to be looking at it from this point. So again, when I'm finding these chord tones, just as a little side note, I'm not thinking about the note I'm hitting, I'm thinking about where the root note is and then what the interval looks like against that root note. I'll explain more in a sec. So for the D, I have a D, my root, flat 3, 5, root, flat 3, 5. So obviously I can play the 5 there as well, so that's my 5th of D there. For my F, I'm looking at it from the F here, so I have a 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. G, well, here's my G here, but I'm seeing the G and then the 3rd, 5, then my root again, 3rd, 5, root, 3rd, and if I want to go on 5, but I don't need to go that high. I'm just going to concentrate on here. I've got all the information I need within 5-6 frets, so you shouldn't have to move at all, and it's a good limitation exercise to be able to play what you want within a certain space. And the last chord, E7, so I can think of this as a major triad again, E. From this E, so I have 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5. Now what I'm going to do over this track is just pinpoint the roots of every chord, okay? So I'll wait till it comes back around again. So this is really important. You'd be surprised how many people can't do this alone. So it's so important we know our notes. So root A, then D, then the F, G, E, another place, so A, then what I want to do is pick out the thirds of each chord. So say on the minor, the flat 3, on the major, the natural 3, A will be first, so it'll be a flat 3. Then the flat 3 of D. The third of F. Third of G. Third of E. A minor, third. Third of D. So I'm in a different place now. Third of F. Third of G. Third of E. Okay, then after that, I might want to just connect the thirds and the roots of each chord together. So I'll do that as an example. I'm trying to keep this lesson, fairly short. So it's going to be a bit longer than usual, maybe, but it's a more complicated subject. So I'm going to do the roots to the thirds, or the thirds to the roots. I'll probably do the thirds to the roots so you can hear. So again, D minor, F, so the 4 chord, 5, and then the 5 and the 6. So you can hear that. So even if the chords aren't there now, you should be able to hear the chord progression with no backing track going. So I'll do the thirds to the roots again. Okay, now what I want to start doing then is starting to connect. So I might just do quarter notes here, okay? So if I just mute the track and just have the click on, so it'd be like A, D minor, F major, G major, E7, back to the start, okay? So if you have that in your head, what I'm going to do is going to be able to play the triad notes, and you should be able to hear them without the chords being there. Sorry, just doing the flat 3 to the 1 or 3 to the 1. So okay, now I'm going to connect them. Okay, so I'm just connecting the chord tones there with the scale. Nothing complicated at all. I'm just landing on the chord tones on the strong beats, whether that be the 1 or the 3 or the 5. So it's when I put the track there now, okay. So I'm really thinking simple. I went a bit onto the next shape there just so you can see how it works. But I'm pinpointing the chord tones, I'm keeping it really simple, and I'm landing on the strong beats. Try this first, okay? And then from there, I will show you how to find the triads everywhere around the neck. But I think it's so important that you can incorporate your playing with chord tones, because it's going to sound more melodic. And like I say, then you can start incorporating the chords when they're not even there. So my battery ran out. So that was the aim of it anyway. I think you got a lot of it within that lesson anyway. Please like, please subscribe. Please comment if you have any questions about that. Like I say, I'll be doing a full-on video of how to find the triads in all areas of the neck. But for the meantime, have a go at that. Sorry the video cut out there, my battery and my camera ran out, so instead of filming it all again, I just thought it'd be easier to add this little bit at the end. Please let me know how you do. Any questions you have, I will answer them below. Thank you and have a good weekend.